Yes, we're back on Go with the Football Podcast, everyone!
What a guest we've got today. Lewis Ferguson. The star of Serie A. Unbelievable, Kev, isn't it, Biggie?
Amazing, mate. It's first Italian we've had on here,
How are you, mate? Good?
Son Jewel we've had.
Aye.
Sure. You've been after him for a long time.
They're actually, get it.
No, you and Chipper actually. You and Chipper were on the
Aye. So we were actually.
I don't think he looks like me.
No, he doesn't. He's more better than you. My missus fancies him.
Who was your milkman?
She says it all the time, you're handsome.
Who was your milkman?
Don't know.
Bobby. Big Bobby Valentine.
Aye. I actually worked on the milk.
Did you?
Aye.
That's why he is the guy he is, because he's had that grounding.
Experience.
I know, but so did Darren Ross.
And they're two losers.
Who had
the biggest chopper at the three of them?
Oh, thanks.
No, it's Darren.
That's he done me yesterday, didn't he? Storming watching the World Cup.
He's got it. I'm stoned. I'm watching again.
I was looking for my phone and I thought he had nicked
What, you
it.
thought it was up his ass?
So I started to pat him down and he was stoning up and Darren Ross were in front of him, so it was a good opportunity.
Brilliant. So he was right down.
I just stood there and never even pulled him up.
Not when the blinds are up, you know, and there's people walking past.
How's that?
No.
Is that what's on?
Needs a bit of work.
How's the arse? How's the arse, Derek? Still hairy?
It's here, aye.
I know, your Uncle Jim.
So I'm trying with your phone at his ass. By the way, what I've still just been told for you. So we were at Pret last week and a guy and a woman I think not for Primark came up and asked us for a picture. Big fans of the show, picture. The guy sticks a picture up on Instagram and he writes underneath it, 2 heroes and pizza face. So but he's just actually fucking just sending it to me. So I've not thought any more of it, and then I'm getting a print today and he's like, it's like raging with me, and I was like, how, what happened? Like, I put that picture up last week and he just replied saying helmet.
That's brilliant, innit? I was fuming. See that I try to work out what you talked about, because you just put the pizza emoji. He's got 2 goats and a pizza emoji to me. So I just wrote helmet to him right away. Not having
He
that.
put it on his story.
Put it on his main page.
On his main page.
On his main page.
Do you know what he's done? Mate, he put his main page and then he put it on his story and tagged me in the story so I could share it. Mate, honestly, I was fuming with him, and then I looked down and I thought that was as bad as I could get. I seen it and he likes the picture.
No oil in this game, is it? Irn-Bru intro. Who's doing it?
Kev's, he's ready for it.
Welcome to the Open Goal, a football podcast in association with Irn-Bru. As we all know,
Sorry, 2 minutes. Irn-Bru just went out of business after that.
Iron or Iron?
What you
Drinks up, mate. As we all know, these are crazy times. It's winter. It's freezing. Fucking right, it's freezing by the way. And we're sitting here talking about the World Cup Baltic, and the only thing wrong about it is that Scotland aren't there. Because there's so much weirdness this winter, Irn-Bru wants you to get right in amongst it, and that's why we've partnered up to make sure you catch all with the football moments over the course of the next 4 weeks.
And we can't even know, we've not even met, we've not even spoke about, mate.
Let's give it a round of applause.
Lewis Ferguson, Serie A, mate. How's it going, mate?
Amazing. I love it, honestly.
It's surreal though, mate, innit?
Aye, it is.
Is it not sunny out there, son, eh? It's quite white for being in it.
I know, but I've got sun cream on every day.
Every day.
The temperature's dropped now. It's cold now.
Is it freezing, is it?
But in the summer it was roasting.
What is your manager as well?
I know, amazing.
I just wanted to ask us before we get in it, does he join in training?
He doesn't. He's joined in maybe once or twice, just in like boxes, or he's still got a wee bit.
Just a wee bit?
Aye.
Mate, what a
But
player.
he's not like...
Ralston done him.
He'll very rarely come in.
He did.
Did he?
So he fitted him at Parkhead and to put his career out, made him manager.
Did he retire or?
Aye.
That's the last time I can remember watching him.
Aye, I was.
He was top class, wasn't he?
Aye, what a
Rolls
player.
Royce.
You must be privileged that he's bought a new jacket for you coming on the podcast.
Mate, I actually thought we were another bit. I was going to put a World Cup tap on.
I
So I'll
prefer
just
the
get-
suit.
The suit was cool, mate, wasn't
honest,
it?
aye.
That'll be, you'll see that very soon. And by the way, amazing, and he said it's the best feeling of his life. Now, you wouldn't believe that if they're moving to Serie A. You're now a damn it.
Aye.
Incredible
It's
feeling.
amazing. Honestly, like I just said to you, it's the best feeling in the world. Nothing
mad,
beats
man.
it. Like I didn't know what to expect, but honestly, nothing
Were you in for the
beats
labour?
that feeling. Aye.
How was it?
It was alright. It was quite chilled out. It was better than I expected, and then she had to go for a section. But it all went well, and it was.
Did you do the gas in there?
No, I didn't. She was.
Did you do that? The gas in there, no?
Would I have that back in your day, Derek?
Nah, we didn't do it. We just
You pulled the baby yourself, didn't you?
Honestly, there's a photo of him like that with all the gear on and all that. Looks like Dr. Ferguson, don't you?
Aye, when you go in for the set, you need to put all the stuff on and that. So
the main cheer and that, and she had to go for the section, which, you know, isn't planned, obviously, you know, but they're healthy. Lauren's well and all.
What's the baby's name?
Lake.
Oh, Lake Como.
Lake Como.
Like
Like you're thinking. Why, where were you when you were at a night out when you and Jude and that
I
came
was
out?
hungover when Jude came in. Fucking hanging.
With a long hair, wasn't it?
The
Walking back to the
midwife-
kitchen.
The midwife fucked me out the room because she says, you're slinking, get out.
No, mate.
I swear, mate, I never knew the Jude was, no, it was Frankie. Didn't know he
You
was
know your
coming.
missus pregnant?
Nah, she got induced so she said about her
She was
because
right
so
then.
I was out. I got a text saying you need to cut the hospital, mate. I was
like-
fucking hanging.
Oh my God.
Lauren,
Did you have the
Lauren
long
was the
hair?
same. Lauren getting juiced.
Did you?
But is that not like planned to get
You
juiced?
can plan, but that's like if it's your first one, they don't let you go so long after the baby's due. So they plan like an induced date just to make sure
It's worked out well
It's the
because
timing's good.
she could have went any time, but obviously the timing he comes back. You know.
So where was she born? Here?
Aye.
Aye.
No fancy being Italian?
I gave her the option.
Aye.
I said to her,
Oh, that'd have been brilliant, mate. She could have played for Italy, wouldn't she?
I said to her, I gave her the option. I says you can have the baby back home or over there, but
Fuck no, she might be the home
Aye.
comfort, definitely.
What were you, big man? Were you?
Oh, I
He's still
loved it.
breastfeeding, isn't he?
I loved it. I've said it before. Things you did, only you'll relate to this, Lewis, but playing for your country's great. But having babies
breastfeeding's better.
having babies is far better.
aye, no, it's,
It's unbelievable because you've created it.
Talking to mum and dad's, how's she been in Italy? Because he's a different man now, isn't he? He goes off. If you went to Italy and went off the radar, or did you behave yourself?
Me? No, I'm. In fact, I get allowed off the leash a wee bit, to be honest with you. Aye, the missus been good.
he goes missing sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
Aye, like me and my ma will be sitting watching the telly and he'll fuck knows where he is, but he'll be out doing something.
What do you do?
Just disappear and go and talk to the
moped?
locals.
Go for a
What
beer
you
or
do?
something.
Do you, mate?
Aye.
Have you been on a scooter yet? The wee moped?
No, I know.
Have you been on that yet?
I'm waiting. I'm sorting me out, by the way.
I need to get him one.
I sorted him out a wee wings one, but he wasn't too happy.
But you're now driving like an Italian. See, the first time I was there,
Aye.
he was quite cautious and all that. See, now you're driving about like an absolute maniac.
No, I think you need to.
Like,
How you need to
Like they're so careless driving. Like the first couple of times I drove, I was kind of shitting myself because you're on the side of the road and that. But they're mental, man. Like just so careless, speeding all the time, cutting in front of you. It's just roundabouts and all that. They're just mental. See that?
I mean, you go, right, we get into the city, and I go, aye, no problem. He's an hour. I get down and have a 2 or 3 pints before I get into the motorway.
just to relax yourself?
Oh, aye.
So what's your typical day then? How does it work out that?
Well, I've got like the same routine. I do the same thing every single day. I wake up, get in the fitbar, get breakfast, train.
What's the food like? To talk us through the full hang I want to know everything.
The typical Italian breakfast isn't up to much. Like it's literally just a croissant, or like they have these wee crostata. It's basically a wee tart thing.
We had that majority of that shite.
And a coffee. But in it Fitbit it's a wee bit different. So we've got it's just normal. Scrambled eggs, cereals, yogurts, all that. It's
Pasta on that?
Pasta
what,
for
in
your
the morning?
breakfast?
Oh, no.
Full of carbs.
Like a couple of the Italian boys will just come in and they'll have their coffee and their
Be
wee.
espresso.
Aye.
You into that?
They take them all the time. Aye. I only like a cappuccino, but you're only allowed that in the morning.
This,
How?
it's
Aye, it's to do with, I don't know why, but it's to do with milk. So like, you don't have milk after midday. If you go up and order a coffee, like if you get into a cafe or whatever,
as if you're daft.
and you order a cappuccino, or you order something with milk, after midday they'll kind of give you, it's frowned upon, it's weird.
That's it.
And the Italian boys, like see, there's a couple of Dutch lads that at pre-match they'll have a cappuccino. And the Italian boys are all kind of, you can see them looking at them like, fucking weirdos. Aye.
You'd be fucked with that, wouldn't you?
It's the day with milk. It's the day with milk.
Right, and then what about, so what's training like usually in the morning?
So now, I never used to do this before, but now I'm in the gym for bit of nibber before training.
Yeah, I knew it.
Aye, for ages.
Stretching
I've
and
got, aye, so I never, I would go in the gym and I would go on the bike and stuff when I was at Aberdeen, but like I've got a programme, all this mobility stuff that I hadn't really done before, and all this stretching and
Is that every day you do it?
aye, core stuff.
That's just like at Rangers. Rangers did that.
Aye, a lot of like
Good
just all the
40 minutes
prehab
before
stuff
it
to
was
get you ready
aye.
for training, but all the mobility stuff as well.
You gave it away last night, but when
What's your trousers done?
see when I used to get into the gym in the morning first thing before he was going to school. Then we were saying is he would come down to the gym before he went to school, but then you would forget your homework. You hadn't done your homework, so I didn't know this. You used to nip up into that.
I never wanted to get the bus to school. When we moved house, I never wanted to get the bus to school. I wanted my old man to take me.
Right.
But he used to go to the gym at 7 every morning. So he said obviously the only way you're getting down to Hamilton is if you come to the gym.
Yeah.
So we used to go to the gym every morning at 7.
Oh,
But then
you never made school in time, but
aye, because he was having a go at the school because I never got to go to my prom
I was raging.
because I was late all the time. But it was because when we used to go to the gym, every time when I was walking up to school, I always remembered I had homework or something to do. And I used to go into a wee cafe, get my breakfast and do my homework. So I was always late.
See at night,
I didn't know that. So you're grounded now.
Look, see at night, will you go out for like pasta, pizza and restaurants? Or would you be in the house?
At the start, I was always out because when I was in the hotel, so after training, like I would always go back and go to sleep. I sleep every single day.
There?
Fair
I'll
bit.
fucking stop now with that kid, mate.
I know.
Aye.
But fair bit. 3 o'clock, between 3 and 5, I'll go to sleep.
Sleep.
Did you always do that, or is that?
No, I've always done that.
You've
To be
always
fair,
done that?
aye,
Yeah,
I've always done
I
that.
didn't realise how much football players sleep. I forgot about it because I hardly sleep now. Like you, obviously. But as soon as he comes in for training, he'll sit, have a wee chat, and then it's about an hour and a half. I'm like, how's he going
I
to sleep
sleep
at
for
night?
long, aye.
You know, and then so that's you in it. And
They've told us we've only to sleep. You're only supposed to sleep for about
you sleep
half an
for
hour.
ages.
Because it's like a nap,
Because
innit?
it's like your
breaks into a deep
cycle,
sleep.
the cycle. But
What about training? What's training like?
it's good. It's when I first went over, it was different. Like I was speaking to you earlier about it. Like we just used to do a warm up. It was quite a long warm up, some running, and then it would just be straight into like 11v11, full pitch, and like before training we would watch video. Say we're playing Milan, play a 4-3-3. We would watch video on how they press us. And then we would go on the pitch and he'd set the team up. He'd set a 4-3-3 up against them and set up to go on, and then we would just try and play out. But we'd done it for ages. It went on, I don't know how long, maybe an hour we'd done that for.
Wow.
But it's changed now. It's a wee bit more what I'm used to now under Mota. It's more like boxes, possession, games. But he would still go through like shape and stuff on a Thursday and a Friday.
You said you loves playing it all the time, didn't you?
He does all the time, but there's still like, we'll play out like no matter what.
So if a team come up and press you high,
We'll still try and play out, but it does come to a point. It does come to a point where if somebody is really aggressive, we've just got to
Turn it.
we've got to, aye. But when somebody goes so aggressive, like there's so much space. So what we've done recently is I've went up and kind of stood next to Arnautovic, and it's always been like a midfielder that comes with me. So I'm usually physically better than the midfielder, so we'll try and, it's not as if we're just smashing it up, we'll try and drill it into you. Because if, like I say, if it's going into Arnautovic, he's strong enough to hold anybody off.
But you were saying, weren't you? He was saying that Arnautovic actually goes mental when they keep hitting up to him.
Aye, like there's
he
been
wants
a
to play.
couple of times, like, see the past few games, we've been on a good run recently, but see when you got 1-0, you got up 2-0, you kind of shut up shop. That's the mentality over there. Like as soon as you go ahead, you need to stay ahead. So you kind of shut up shop, and there's been a couple of times, I think it was a Lecce game, we played brilliant first half, playing out, we were up 2-0, and then second half they were really aggressive. So the keeper naturally started to just smash it up, telling outfits, and he roasted he'd do him. Aye.
He's a
Gone
top
mental,
dog,
but
isn't
Is he the top man on Netflix?
Aye, he's a top dog.
Is he a good guy?
Aye, great guy. He's get so much. He's played at Stoke and at West Ham, and his team at Stoke was all like head Scottish boys, Irish boys, English boys. So he tells me stories all the time about them because he thinks people for the UK are no right.
Why does he think they're not right?
I don't know, just drinking and betting and horses and just all the bad stuff really. But he loved it there.
See the man you said at half time the other day, Mott had a go at him. And he was
Aye,
raging.
that was the first time I'd kind of seen Mott going off his seat.
How did he have a go for?
We were actually winning. We were doing alright, but the two centre halves, who were we playing again?
Yeah.
Sassuolo, yeah. Aye, the two centre halves, they're no physically massive. So he should dominate them. And the manager obviously thought he wasn't dominating them and had a right go at him at half time.
And did he give it back?
No, when he was having a go at him, he doesn't. But when we went out, he scored within about 5 minutes, and he just started charging towards the manager. So we, like, when we were all celebrating, we've all just grabbed him, like, because we all know what he's doing. So everybody's all grabbed him. They're all shouting at him to sort of calm down when we were celebrating. He was just pointing there, shouting. He was doing all that. It was brilliant. But that's what the manager wanted. I think the manager, that's what he wanted. Aye. And Milan were just ruthless against us.
San Siro?
Aye.
How was that?
Amazing. San Siro was actually better when we played AC Milan.
Was it full?
It was full when we played AC Milan. The atmosphere was incredible, man. It's the best I've ever been involved in. It was unbelievable. Everybody speaks about like Rangers and Celtic and they are amazing, but there's just something different, I think, about like a foreign atmosphere.
Yeah. And screwballs in Italy, the fans, isn't it? The proper one.
Taps rolls off, aren't they?
They actually are. Aye. They've all got the mad tattoos
recently that
do you sit with your tap off when you're watching?
Everton are. One of the
he's in with the family.
Family section.
I don't talk about that.
I don't know about you now. Like, you've been missing for about 3 weeks, mate. We've been trying to get on to you.
Don't know anything about him.
Do you know he smokes fags when he's on there?
What do they actually do?
He probably does. He goes missing. I honestly don't see him. He comes there to see me and I don't see him.
What do you do? You go to the games, don't you?
Oh God, aye.
And do you go into the players' lounge, you know, at half time and speak to the family?
Oh, the players' lounge is superb. It is fantastic.
Is it?
We Antonio, by the way, what a man. Antonio, you're probably not watching this, but you should. I know you, mate.
What do you get in the players' lounge? A wee beer?
You get what you want. No, it's a full shebang. You give your dinner. Aye, the full lot, aye.
We need to go, yeah.
No, the game starts at about 2 o'clock. I'm trying to get in there at 9 o'clock in the morning. It is. They're well looked after, and even the seats that you've got in it, aye, it's great. Aye, they're very hospitable, by the way. So they're, and anything you want, any drinks, aye, you need to watch it a wee bit.
A few of the wives nice.
There's a few stuff. The Italian woman are stunning. And out of it, she's brilliant. I loved that when you tell that story, because I asked them right after the game, I says, what happened? Because you have to right round him, and you could see that. So they were managing him because they know how good he is, and they need him bang on it.
He's a good player.
Aye. So they need to keep him on board, and that's what it was brilliant to see that when they done that. Tell him what he says when you scored. Because I was watching his
when I scored right in the top corner, kind of ran out celebrating and stuff, and he's like, he uses his horns. Did you see him?
I was watching him.
He was flinging his horns about and all that, and he just grabbed me and he was like, did you go to church this morning?
That's class, isn't it?
I was like, fuck off.
That's brilliant,
amazing. He's the only one really in the team that he comes out with some shouts, and I think
shouts like
just like some shouts, and I think that's because he's played in England. Aye, because they're different foreign boys. They're different, but he'll come out with some things, and I think that's Kane.
Tony Post.
Were you there when he was like to Man U?
Aye, so I was just in. So I never really knew what was going on, but from what I've seen, like, it was as if he knocked Man U back.
Was that right?
But I don't know.
He is loved over there. He's like God.
Is he,
The
right?
fans. It's amazing. See when they score or whatever, and at the end of the game they all get together and celebrate. There's only one man missing. Arnautovic. He goes himself. And he just slipped in.
That's the kind of guy, yeah.
But it's class. The way he does it, you know what I mean? He just struts. See when they score.
That was like you at Hydro.
I'm really excited at Hydro. It's brilliant, man, because see when he doesn't run out of them. He walks. And they wait for him. He's just waiting for him. He's good.
Have you met any see, have you became close to any families there? In the players' lounge, be any pals you've met?
Well, Carol has. Because she's there every. I know. She's there every second week. You can't get rid of her. So she knows some of them, some of the family members in there, which is brilliant.
Do you like them coming out, Lewis? Or is it pain in the arse?
No, I do. I like it. I quite enjoy being on my own as well, like, because I have my routine and I do the same things. Like, I quite enjoy being myself, but I love it when they come here, because my ma does all the
washing,
cleaning, everything.
What's in a day like a day like you in Italy? What do you do?
When
a full day for you in Italy, what do you do when you wake up?
I'll get out and I'll go a walk. If Carol doesn't want to go a walk, I'll go a walk. And some beautiful places to walk. It's a lovely park just down film, and I don't even know the river's name or whatever. But I've got to know where cafes and all that, certain bits you can go and you can just duck and dive. But it's a beautiful place. If you like walking, and it doesn't always have to be a beer. You can just sit and have a wee
coffee.
I was going to ask you that, because we were allowed to have a glass of red wine the night before a game. Even though you get steaming after a game, which used to blow my mind. Is that the same, man?
Aye.
So you have a glass of red wine?
Like, we're in a hotel before every game, like home and away. And when we're sitting at dinner, they'll come round with a bottle of red. And like the Italian boys will take it, but most of the other boys aren't fair. They don't take it.
Is the food amazing? Do you like it?
Aye, the food's brilliant, man. So good.
That's one thing about Lewis. He loves. You've been here this time?
Loads of times. Food is
the food much incredible. Like as Italians know your meal here when you taste food there?
It's completely different.
It's very different.
Like here, it's just you would have pasta as your main course, you would have pizza, and that is different there. So like in an Italian restaurant, when I go to one there, I'll have like a wee bit of bread with oil, whatever to start.
The vinegar dipped in.
Aye, but they don't do that as often as they'll just put the oil and salt and a wee bit of bread. It's nice. And then you have pasta as like your first course. So it's not like a big bowl of pasta, but that's your first meal. And then after that, you have a bit of meat. So I would usually have like a bowl of pasta and then steak.
He takes us to this beautiful restaurant.
The meat one? Aye, that's me. That's
embarrassing because I just order a burger all the time. A beer and a burger.
Fucking Weatherspoons, you should be going to my row.
And they're fine.
Weatherspoons.
You know what I mean?
Beer and burger for a pint.
That's me.
That's like that's a mere like international restaurant, like mere normal one.
And do the boys go together? Just get steaming together after games and that?
No, but we go out for dinner quite often. So like maybe every couple of weeks, we'll all go out for dinner. We went out for dinner. When was the last one? Gafford paid for it. Can't mind. It was after we had beat somebody, and the gaffer just took us all out for dinner. A nice Brazilian restaurant. It was nice.
I could talk about this all day.
But I'm due a dinner. I have to pay for a dinner.
So when you're a new sign, you need to pay for a dinner?
No, because I scored.
Right.
I was like, fucking hell. She never scored by me, I don't know. The one that scored. But that's what they said after my first goal. That's what a couple of the older lads says you need to take everybody out for dinner. So I
think you're blinding your line,
because it happened to another boy, but that's genuinely, and if you sign a new contract, you take everybody out for dinner.
Right, big question, much on it, mate. He's like, I don't know that much.
Not a lot. By the way, we're going to get back on his career because it's absolutely fascinating stuff. But big news broke yesterday. I've been a big advocate for him to stay.
Do you want to get your Van Bronckhorst point again?
I can't keep saying that point.
You're dead for something.
But Van Bronckhorst obviously sacked yesterday. Derek, I think it's the right time for him to go.
Oh, aye. I think it was clear to see. certainly from my point of view, that he'd lost the dressing room. The boys weren't playing for him. What was it? 3-4 games before we've got to the World Cup, they were must-wins. You know, we get beat with St Johnstone, a couple of draws. But I think it's the performances. They've not been up to scratch. There's something no right in that dressing room. And it was kind of, you look at the start of the season, when we kept talking about the goalkeeping situation. I think McGregor, I know McLaughlin's a good keeper, but I think McGregor, still at the age he is, would be your first choice. So I'm just thinking in that dressing room, you know, some of the more experienced boys, once you lose a few of them, you've got a problem. Morelos have never sorted out his situation. He's still no fit. He's still no at it. His attitude in the last game at St Mirren, it was woeful, by the way. So somebody needs to come in and get a grip with these guys, you know, and get them playing.
Reman's drinking cocktails on holiday, didn't he?
Oh, he's steaming every night. Think it's serious, isn't it?
There you go. There's Celtic are away. They're playing in a tournament. They're still at it. And I think, what is it? Gianni gave them 3 weeks off. Is it? I don't know. Am I right?
No, I've seen that, but I don't know if he can get lost maybe in translation or whatever. But I think they just get the same as most people.
I just think when you get rewarded for success, and
you should be on the training pitch, maybe a couple of days off.
I get it that you give them a number of days off, maybe a week, and then listen, you need to say to the boys, hey, we haven't been good enough, we need to get in and work.
There's a great opportunity there during this break for the likes of Rangers who aren't underperforming, to go and play behind closed door friendlies, really work on the training ground and get a system in place that seems
to... Work on it together.
But they probably knew he was going.
Because that group of players, for some reason, they look disjointed to me. They don't look a happy bunch.
It's predictable.
So there's something there. You know, whether, do you know that they go away for a break? They're all away here, there and everywhere. I think you need to get that group together and you need to take them somewhere for 2 or 3 days.
Bologna.
And
Graham Murray's house.
Exactly. But, you know, in air, you're like, if you're not happy with certain things, you know, just get it out in the open, you know, and get it.
Why do you think they waited the time they've done since the season finished to now to sack him?
Because they're trying to find plus you would imagine we try to sort out his contract. I mean, he's brought 4 or 5 guys with him, his coaching staff. So Van Bronckhorst has got to look after them as well.
Franzen's a big hit as well for Rangers, because you're thinking, come back, new manager, so you're paying up 5 plus a manager, you're bringing in a new coaching squad. And then you're looking to try and spend money in January to start competing again. It's a big
By the way,
I've heard a name and it's a great source. Ralph Hasselhouten, who worked with Ross Wilson at Southampton.
I know where Ralph Hasselhouten takes a Rangers job.
He worked with Ross Wilson at Southampton. He said Ross Wilson's one of the best he's worked with.
I think he'll stay and try and get a
Premier League job.
What do you think? You get him?
I think Dyche should be a good appointment there.
Muscat's another one.
I don't know if you don't want to sit and watch Sean Dyche's football at Ibrox, would you?
Well, we don't know.
But see on the Sean Dyche thing,
flip what it's like, because he's always been up against it.
That's what I mean.
Where he had to be fit, he had organised. So you wonder if he gets a bit of money in certain players. We don't know.
Yeah.
He's like,
I would presume that
his teams have always been very much 4-4-2, go quite direct.
he's only ever had Burnley, so like
he was Watford as well, wasn't he?
Was he Watford the better? So he only ever seemed to be defensive, because he's always either trying to keep a team in a league. Whereas with Rangers, your objective is to win a league. So then he has to be a bit more expansive. So maybe we've not seen that side of Sean Dyche. So it's quite easy to rule Sean Dyche out for that style of play. But let's not judge. He's a football manager. He's experienced enough. I'm pretty sure he knows how to attack as well. So it's just. But then obviously the boy Michael Beale, he's obviously come out and said in the past that if Rangers come knocking, you don't say no to them. So did they go there? But then again, he said no to Wolves, and then since he said no to Wolves, they've had a shocking run. There's talk of Gerrard as well coming back. I don't know if that's the right fit. I don't know.
I think Muscat's a great shit.
Muscat apart, would somebody you say yesterday about worked
under Angie? I didn't realise so he worked.
He was assistant, aye.
But I
obviously played the Rangers as well.
I thought it was just Yokohama he worked with, and the Australian team is with Melbourne, was it?
Melbourne, right?
He worked with him and Australia as well. So he's been with Ange for years.
Did he just win the league somewhere?
Aye. In Yokohama, is it? Aye, won the league, being the manager.
It's the same like path as what Ange took.
Who do you want to see?
I'm not so sure about Veal. Because he's a terrific coach, but I think when you come to Rangers, I mean, we spoke again before, come on, there's loads of top coaches kicking about. It's about getting that right guy with the right personality, and I think Gio liked that then. You know, some of the stuff that he came out with, you know, did he inspire me? No, and that's how I wonder what he was like in the dressing room. But
He always looked freezing. Every time he was like, get a fucking jacket on and get up there.
Just a wee bit. You know, sometimes when you're heading, like me, after a game of football on the Saturday and you're heading home and you're listening to the managers speaking, you wanted a wee bit more fighting talk from him. You know, that, we're going to sort this, and he's always kind of pretty vague, you know, well, maybe next week we'll get, that doesn't work for me. So somebody a wee bit of, I know about.
Well, Dyche's got that, definitely. He's a fighter, isn't he?
You look at him, and that's how a lot of people dismiss him, Kev, too quickly for me. But he looks a guy that command a dressing room, a bit of fear into the players. I think you've always got to have that as a player. There's that kind of, you don't want to get too close to your manager. There's always got to be that. Well, talk to you, you're the manager. There's got to be that wee fear factor. You can't get too close to your boys.
What about this name for you? Alec Neil.
Alec Neil, top head.
Records, mate.
Right at the box,
Norwich got him promoted.
I know, but since leaving Sunderland,
done really well. Done really well. Sunderland done it for a shambles, mate.
Goes Sunderland up, didn't he?
Sunderland up as well, yeah.
Promotion.
My thinking is, the Stoke things, like, there's a still a selling up for me, because I don't think he should have left Sunderland. I think he had a better opportunity taking Sunderland up than he had taken Stoke up. I can understand, I think the logistics of where Stoke was suited his family needs at that time. So if that's the case, would he move back here? I don't know. But there's loads of names you could probably chuck into this Rangers jobs, but Rangers need to do their due diligence and get the right man, because see if they make a mistake of this one, it could be a long season.
But you take it now though, 9 points behind Celtic.
You've got to take
the league's gone.
When you talk
I know, but would you want to go in the new though to that? But the league's away.
I think the league, we say the league's gone, right? Up until Celtic played St Mirren away, everybody was saying how well Celtic were doing, they lose to St Mirren, right? And then it just down to 5 points, and Rangers went it down to 2 points. The Rangers have had a blip. I have no doubt from now to the end of the season, Celtic will make a blip somewhere. Not like I don't think they'll lose 2 or 3 games on the bounce, right? But they'll make a blip somewhere. But the problem is Rangers need to keep going hell for leather every week and winning. And is that going to happen?
That's the problem. That's the problem.
So if a new manager comes in and they get a reaction and they get on a run, then they win that game, and come December, January, whatever it is at Ibrox, they beat Southampton 26 points, maybe Celtic lose it, get a wee draw somewhere, and Rangers win. It's down to like, you just don't know. There's still plenty of games left, but at this point in time, can I see it? But I just wouldn't be too overly confident.
What were you going to say? What you going to say?
I was going to say, when he was talking about having that fear factor, I think Alec Neil's got that.
Definitely.
He was a scary guy. When I was at Aki's, he was our coach at like 17s when we were really young, and he's just like a scary guy. Yeah. But somebody everybody had like respect for, and he's went on to do some great things. But I think Bielsa is another name that's good. He was linked with Bournemouth, but I seen yesterday there was a wee bit of a stall in there. I think that'd be brilliant for Scotland.
You said he's done like a massive. He did a big massive analysis.
He did for the
World Cup team.
Was it no?
No, was it Denmark or something like that?
Poland. That was a huge thing, and I'm thinking, that's a man in great depth and knowledge, but anybody can have that job.
Amazing, man. I would love Bielsa.
He analysed in that thing he done. He analysed like 65 different players or something like that. It was a mental number. And
whole thing, mate. He's been in England for about 10 years. He still can't speak English. He's kidding on, isn't he?
He gets the bus on it, didn't he?
He gets the bus. He sits in Costa, doesn't he?
62 through Gavin.
Pint in a burger he gets. Your type of man.
He'd be a great shite Bielsa, wouldn't he?
He does. Right, dog shite, Ecuador, who watched that?
Oh, goodness me, that should have shut the World Cup down.
How is that on the world stage? I'm telling you, even worse. Holland versus fucking... oh my God.
Standard's terrible.
Do you know what I found out today? See that Holland goalie has made 52 career appearances up to this point. He's 28 years old. Made his debut last night for the Netherlands. Got released for heroin. The wife told him at the end of last season, just go and fucking give up the fit boy. They applied to go to the police. And then he fucking got in for go ahead. The Eagles get them up, and then he's made his debut for Holland World Cup.
He wasn't needed the other night, mate. Wasn't a shot.
I like watching Dutch teams as well, and they were just.
Oh, you couldn't have enjoyed that.
No, but I'm saying like usually you would enjoy watching like Ajax and that, and
football boring.
Dutch players are always technically.
Remember World Cups, there would always be a player in the team that would just go.
We were saying that the other day.
Light it up. It's like somebody going to do something exciting.
There's no player out there now. I'm just saying, bar maybe even your best now with Haaland and Mbappe, right? But it's more physique in it, speed, strong, whatever good players. But back in the day, I mean, look at that Brazil team. Do you know what I mean? Remember that 2002? France had them. You don't even Portugal. You don't really get players like that now. The individuals that take.
Goalie.
He was cracking that boy. Fuck me, man.
Qatari goalie was the monkey.
That Qatari shit, holy fucking hell, man. You get 11 guys at the pub to beat them, man.
Where am
I felt sorry for them a wee bit. I don't know why. I don't know why. But it's just
England look good. I know they're playing.
They're going to win it. I told you they're going to win it.
You went to 4 at the back.
I'm shaking it.
That was last night because you and Ross ended up rolling about each other,
on the pole,
wrestling each other.
on the post.
What's you fighting for that? Much did you give him for that?
I was just throwing notes at
Ross is a big boy, strong boy, but the two of them are in the living room rolling about like they're men. Can't even hold them apart.
How did you start fighting?
I would just
start wrestling each other.
So I quite like me and Ross have always fought with each other. So
who's the hardest at the three is?
It would be me or Ross. It's definitely not Dan.
Don't slap me.
It's not that like
Dan gets
when we were growing up.
I even throw Dan
when we were growing up, Dan's the oldest, and he's so like laid back. Me and Ross used to always fight like constantly, and Darren would just be lying there on the couch, like just Disney baller, mate, just dead laid back.
Snooze, and that's him. He's quite happy.
You were steaming last night, weren't you? On the red wine?
No, last night.
Was it the last night?
Sunday night.
Were you married like that? You were older, but you were old.
Because there's 11 years a difference. It's a kind of different relationship. But that's what I love about them. You know, like Dan's 28, 23. Ross is 26, so they're all close.
That was a busy 6 years for you, wasn't it?
But what I love about them, they're close. I was going to say tight, but I don't want to do any more stuff.
You need to stop teeing him up with stuff like that, man. Fucking every week when I watch it every week and I can just see it coming a mile away. You just tee him up,
What's the last thing you've heard him say?
There's been so much.
What about the one where he's man?
It's a Sunday morning.
We went for lunch with John Higgins the other day, right? And he's sitting, he's like, tell you what, Derek Ferguson's brilliant on that cooking show. He's like, he says, I've been off a drink for 4 years now. He says, but I can totally relate to him with that man, Mark. When you've got hangover. See, I'm actually still laughing.
That's brilliant.
4 years off a drink. Should see him, mate. He's like a fucking shadow.
He's an athlete, isn't he?
Athlete now, mate. What a guy as well.
He's the best.
Best guy I've ever met in life.
Aye.
Other than you. You and him, John Higgins, two of the best.
I've been on his company.
Great guy.
I love you. He says you're a great guy as well.
Speaking to me, I've patched him.
I said that he has in the golf.
4 times.
The golf, he said that.
I came in to say,
What are you thinking, Pax and John Higgins?
I've just been for surgery in my neck. I couldn't play golf.
You just,
I can't make it, John. He says, what about next time?
Surgery in your neck, yeah, you replacement.
Look, fanny on his neck. Look. He's got a fanny on there.
I had a bulging disc in my neck, so I had to get it surgery 2 weeks ago. Bulging eye.
Someone else bulging his operator.
Too much diving, Derek.
What did he say for you? He bought that. He took it for lunch, paid for everything.
that's the last twice now he's done that. Crab salad, back, but wasn't he? Sausage supper he had, didn't he?
What fish in his mouth? No, fish supper with a sausage in his mouth.
What does Carol think when he comes out with all that nonsense in the cooking show? She raging with him?
Aye, so she doesn't obviously sit there and watch it, but when it was last week? I had mentioned it when you were there.
You get fed some information.
And I had mentioned it because my missus, like if I'm watching in her company and she hears them saying all that, she gets off her heap.
Your missus?
My missus, she's like, you can't do that. And she said, that's just because she's like, because you only get boys. You've got up.
How about they
Bothered.
My mad, I go at you last week when she says you need to stop it, but it's
because of the hairy ass man, her brother. That's no one done because guys have come up to him up in a man up the eye. Show some evidence.
Where does he work?
Oh, I can't tell you, it's classified.
Oh, is that right?
Wait, we need to laugh at, didn't we?
He's coming up to ask him, he's got a hairy ass. Oh, that's sexy stuff.
You must be hating the house.
What a family, the Fergusons, man.
Oh, the best, mate. That's my two regrets in it. Not go. I said that to John Higgins. Kept saying to John Higgins about Ronnie O'Sullivan, and then arguing with you about the Hamilton thing.
Aye, he did say that.
Said that to John
You
Higgins
got
all
the boy,
day.
don't talk to me like that, boy.
That's my biggest. That's my two regrets on it.
My regret is that we've never been invited up to their house.
So you know he let us down, didn't he, with the Aki son?
The commentating thing.
I know. I need to pay you back for that. Why don't I do it for Bologna?
There's a shout.
An Italian. Or maybe you can do it for the fans in
The fans.
the UK.
Aye.
You should do a follow-up one. You should come
There's an English Twitter page for that.
I'd love to see just even go on a Friday, see maybe training and then go on a Saturday to game. That'd be class.
That players lounge, mate. That players lounge should be.
see,
I wouldn't leave that.
See if I'm listening to him, it makes you regret no chance of an opportunity abroad back in the day.
I never got the chance, but I could.
That's what my dad used to always say to me.
Aye.
That was one of his biggest regrets.
I think that would be-
So I think that was
aye.
always in my head when that opportunity
So talk
came.
us through it. When did you first hear about the interest for Bologna? Obviously, I think it was Watford that were in for the year before, wasn't it?
Aye. So
Something happened
in the
at that
summer
early,
there, in the summer there,
Good one.
Did you ever hear of us?
Well, he's not getting ahead of you. That thing in the gym.
Sorry, mate. No, just in the summer there was interest to a couple of clubs in Europe, and in England as well. But it wasn't until I was away with Scotland in the summer, so I was constantly on the phone to Bill and just seeing where things was at. And he just phoned me one night. I think it was maybe either when I was on holiday or I was with Scotland. I think it might have been when I was on holiday, but he just phoned me and says, look, Bologna are interested, would you fancy it? And straight away I just said aye, like.
Based on what? Because Hickey and that had been there, or just because it was.
That was in the back of my head. Based on like I wanted to go and play abroad anyway. And playing in Italy, playing in the Serie A's different level, so straight away I'm thinking aye, but that was in the back of my head. That Hickey had went there, he'd done well, he's now kicked on, he's worth 20 million quid. That was kind of in the back of my head, but straight away, like I didn't even think about it. I just says aye.
Did they love Hickey ever?
Aye. Aye.
Really well, huh?
Aye. The boys thought he was funny. He's dead quiet.
He came in SWG free show, mate. He looked lost, man.
He's
didn't know we were, did
he's a great guy, to be fair. I chat to him quite often, but he's quite quiet.
Yeah.
And the boy says that he couldn't obviously speak Italian. And the boy says that he could not understand a word that he said. I need to speak. See, when I speak in the change room and that, like, I speak, like, see when you speak to a foreign person on holiday.
We go up the hill. You speak like that, didn't you?
That's the way I need to speak sometimes, because they
Are you
don't.
learning Italian?
Aye, so I do 2 lessons every week.
Aye.
Tuesday and a Friday, a teacher comes in. So there's 5 boys that don't speak it. So we go in, we'll go into it's like the manager's kind of office bit we go into, and he's on us, by the way, about doing it.
Is he?
There was a couple of times, like, you know what it's like, 5 boys seem we've finished training, we're knackered, we need to get a massage, or we need to get in the pool, we need to do the gym, we need to get a lunch. And the teacher comes in at 1:30, and there was one time, I can't remember what, we maybe trained a wee bit later, whatever, but by the time she got in, we were like just finishing up what we were doing in the gym or whatever. So like, we never went straight into her. We went and get changed.
So you were a wee bit late?
We grabbed a bit of food and we came in. He was waiting on us.
With the teacher?
No, the teacher was there. She's brilliant. Like, she wouldn't go through and tell him, but Mota was standing.
Yes.
And when I went in, like, he just kind of looked at me and he was like, and I says, I'm sorry, like, I had so much stuff to do, whatever. And we all kind of come in at the same time. Then another boy came in and he's like, he's late. And one of the boys was like, oh, we had this today, like, I had this. And he was like, nah, none of that. He says, when she comes in here, he's in here in time. So it is his respect. And so see, every time she comes in, he's always kind of floating about just to make sure we're there at the one time. Just for a bit of respect. And to be fair, she's really good. Like I say, like 5 boys after training, we're always knackered, and sometimes you can't be bothered. But she makes it quite enjoyable.
Can you say my dad's in the jail?
Yeah.
Where's my beer?
On a beer.
It's
Is that in a beer?
On a beer.
What's the beer over there? Peroni? Moretti, is it?
Peroni and all, but it's Moretti and those.
And you get tenants for that?
Oh, and
I've seen cans of tenants.
Have you?
I'd love to be in his mind, innit?
Get that
Love
fixture.
to know what's going on in there.
Am I right in saying Signori played for Bologna?
Pepe Signori.
He's captain, wasn't he? No.
Did he play with
Played
Bologna?
Lazio as well, no? They had the talismanic striker when I was back in Italian United. It was somebody that had an amazing career and he went but to Bologna at the end. He was captain, centre forward. I think I might be right, Signori.
It's a bad shout.
He was a club
It's a
legend.
bad shout, that. It's a bad shout. If this doesn't come good here, it's a bad one.
I can't remember the name.
Could be the end of the wee
Can't remember the
man.
name, but there is like a proper club legend. They've named something after him.
I'm sure Recoba played there. Do you know that?
Gee, that's what I've been
Should he drop down?
Aye,
Really?
see when we walk
We're around
in,
Black Strip now.
now we go
Aye.
through a tunnel
That was
to get to the
Milan, isn't it?
stadium. Let's go with the pictures. Feel like
Bologna legend, Signori. There you go, it is.
How many goals and appearances?
Giuseppe Signori. 142 appearances, 66 goals.
142 appearances, 3 seasons. No legend.
No, 142 appearances, that's 5 years.
That's what it is.
what was that on Wikipedia?
Uh-huh.
Sometimes Wikipedia is a wee bit.
Aye,
No, Signori was.
Like,
I was right, Signori was a legend, mate.
He would have probably had better appearances and that.
Aye.
Aye.
I was going to ask
Is that a
you.
great club? Do you remember?
Huh?
Big club?
Bologna? That's one of the. I mean, that's what. I mean, when we grew up, and I actually think Italian football's getting back to
What it was?
the heights it was, and it's maybe not just there yet, because in Europe, I think the bigger clubs need to sort of advance more in sort of the Champions League or whatever, but it's a brilliant standard to watch, isn't it?
Italian, I think the Italian football, there's that nostalgia of being on Channel 4 and then it moved to Channel 5 at one point, and the whole Go Lazio on a Saturday, when you didn't have Sky TV, you always had that on a Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it was, and like everybody. And then obviously Italian 90, the World Cup. We're talking about World Cups, it was probably up there with one of the, you'll remember that well, Derek. Italian 90, Gaza.
Oh, aye. The man.
Eh,
That's why you watched it. Was Gaza?
No, I
when
know.
Gunnar, they're obviously getting that injury before he went.
Yep.
You know, with Spurs in the cup final, and then the documentary on him, Gunnar there. It was amazing.
I think the amount of British players that went over during that period, you had like, you'd obviously like Liam Brady, you had Ian Rush, you had Souness, you had
Wilkins,
you had
Wilkins,
Wilkins, you had who else? You had Gaza, who else? There was
Haley,
Hately.
Big Mark. Big Mark, he spoke to.
And then all of a sudden,
Did you speak to Hitler?
I speak to
Did you read his books?
no, I spoke to him when I done that interview.
Liz, anything you want to know, just read the book.
But I speak to Marco Negri always messages me.
Does he?
He's a
top
great
guy.
lad.
Is he a good guy? Is he?
He played for Bologna, and
he's
he played in obviously.
he still does a lot of like tweeting and stuff on social media
he's
with other Rangers
guy.
and stuff. He's quite.
He messages me quite often, just asking how I'm getting on, because he lives there.
Oh, does he? Have you met up with him?
And no, but he always says,
He's
like,
not a good
if you ever need anything, like, just give me a shout. I can.
What about Bologna? Is the stadium full every week? How many fans do they get?
I don't know. It's
20,000.
about just over 20,000 maybe. The stadium must hold about what 30 maybe.
Is it an old stadium?
It's but it's nice.
I love all stadiums.
It's there's something about it, you know, because it's got the big kind of
They've got the
thing,
big tower,
and that's like kind of
it's,
epitomises the city, because it's a kind of medieval kind of place, so it's got that a lovely feeling to it. But their support, when it's sitting in the main stand to the left hand side, they sing their heart out. See, for the full 90 minutes, man, they give you some backing, so they do, and they expect yous in return to give you everything. And what they do is at the end,
Wait on you, didn't they?
Have
you had that?
We had that. Well, we had a wee bit at the start of the season, so I never knew it happened, to be honest. Like, I was just in the gym. I wasn't playing at the time either. I was in the gym one of the afternoons, and then the sports scientist guy just like popped his head and he was like, "You need to come outside." I didn't know what it was for. I've just thought, right, no bother. So I walked out, and see when I walked out like the front door of the training ground, so like this is kind of out in the car park, just like a big group of ultras, and then like a group of players, like just standing like this far apart, like just standing in two groups, no security, no nothing. And I just walked out, I was like, for fuck's sake. And they're scary guys, man, like spider webs tattooed on their faces, kind of guys.
You got spider webs on.
All these.
You're feeding halflings.
No, but they've got all the mad tattoos that make them look scary. But I went out and I never really knew what was going on because they were shouting in Italian, these guys, but they were so like
Passionate.
But it got too far. I thought it was too far because like I'm not joking. They're in your face and like pointing at then
What are they saying? Like he's not working hard enough for?
Aye, so I think a few of your players kind of lost it with them. It was honestly, like it could have turned into a Royal Rumble.
That's wild,
it was mental.
Imagine bigging out of it, mental. You fun like
He ragged all them up, didn't he?
They were genuinely in boys' faces, pointing at faces, and the manager. But then like the players had their say back. So I think at one point I couldn't really understand what they were saying. But at one point, one of the fans had says that we weren't working hard enough or whatever. We weren't training hard enough. And then one of the boys kind of said a bit back, and then that, honestly, it was close to 5. Medell was wanting that.
Oh, we can't Medell, he's nuts.
so he is Medell.
He picked the biggest guy out of them all and was honestly wanting to take him a 1v1, like, boys holding him back and that. It was mental, but it was brilliant, like, because I've never experienced anything like that. And when I get back inside, I was like, fucking hell, and the boys were like,
you like him,
yeah,
like,
I love him,
He's a good guy. He was a captain, wasn't he?
Aye, but he doesn't.
Was it?
No, it was Cardiff. It was it.
Was it?
But he's played with like Inter Milan, Sevilla, all them. But he's what a guy, man.
What country is he?
Chile.
That's right. Him and Vidal.
Did you know that?
Vidal. I'm best mates.
What would you do if you seen the fans having a go at him? You're walking the car park and you see them going for him. What would you do?
See the thing, see he walks under, right, so we don't meet him right outside the stadium because the car park's across the road, so they walk.
We've got a tunnel.
We
go under a tunnel to the stadium
and they need it.
In the car park.
See, the last time we were waiting on you, as you were coming out, and all the fans all congregate.
It's a bit,
it's a bit scary, isn't it?
Because they were opening my door and that. So when I came at the car park, I was just going to pick him and my mum. And I never realised how busy it is because I couldn't see, because we also go through the tunnel, we don't see it, and it's just big gates, and as soon as they open, like, it's just, they all just kind of hanging on, and like, it was all sort of wee boys and that, so I put the window down and I was signing stuff, but while I was doing that and getting pictures, I heard somebody on my door and I was like, right, no. I was like, shut the door. They're desperate to get your attention. It's not as if they were trying to take it. There was nothing to take it anyway, but
see, on the opposite, see when you're doing well with the Always.
I love you.
Love you.
Love you. At the start of the season, he says when they come, the ultras came and watched training at the start of the season. And like, they spoke to us then.
The ultras speak to the team.
Aye, genuinely.
Like, this is what we expected.
Aye, it was in Italian, but I asked one of the boys at the time because I understood absolutely nothing. But he stands with the microphone and we all stand and listen to this guy, and he tells us what they expect of us for the season.
Supposedly, Ange done that with Paul Tim,
So I got 12 bookings last season. And I'm sure, like, I get my 12 planning, like, again, they meant absolutely nothing. Tripped a guy up, didn't mean it. Get booked in that. It carries on into the next season, and it carries on no matter where you go.
Set blatter, mate.
So I never knew. I never knew.
But remember, we had said to you, right, and I'll be honest here, his last game with Aberdeen, I says, do you really want to be playing in that? I says, you might pick up an injury or a booting. It might affect you, but no, but I think it's because you're that loyal to the boys in the dressing room and all that. Plus Jim would come in and you still wanted to finish the season, but I was more kind of worried.
The injury side of things.
I'll be honest.
The booking side of things, that's not going to stop me.
I never knew about that. I never knew about the booking thing. I never knew how that
Bologna wouldn't have known either.
They didn't, because it was quite close to the start of the season. The director of football came to me and he was like, 12 bookings last season. And I was like, I get stuck in. And he was like, no, it's good to get stuck in, but you need to serve a suspension now. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then I missed, it was 2 games, and then I missed the first game of the season, the cup game, because of my visa. So when you come home to get your visa, they take your passport off you. And I never knew that either. I don't think the club really knew anything about that either. But so you go to my appointment to get the visa in Edinburgh. And the club sorted out all the documents, everything I needed. So I gave it to the guy. And the guy's like, right, cheers, like, that's you sorted. And I was like, my passport, like I'm flying home the night. And he was like, oh no, you're not getting your passport until we sort all this out. And I was like, well, how long? Because I've got a game in 7 days. And he was like, I can't give you a time scale. He says it can be up to like 14 days. And I was just like, right, well, can I do anything? So I was at home on that for a week.
And I think Kev's saying that even about settling in, because when you're only playing as well, it's like I was finding it tough.
You're worse than me.
I'm a shocker.
So impatient.
Is it?
My dad,
Like, you should be the
so impatient.
So how are you so laid back? Is Carol laid back?
Carol's very laid back.
He's getting married the genes, I think.
See, my mum and dad were both maniacs. So I kind of settle.
But like, I knew, like, even when I wasn't playing, I knew I would come in at the right time, and I knew I would do well. I was just focused on getting in. But you were on the phone all the time, and I had to calm him down. Because he was
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, no,
he was losing his head, and I was just frustrated. But I was quite laid back because I knew, like, sometimes you don't. It's never got to go.
Did you go straight in the Aberdeen team when you went to Hamilton?
Aye, and I think that's probably how you thought
it's going to happen
again. It's going to happen again, but doesn't it always pan out like that? Like,
so see on that there, when you went into the Bologna and you started training and stuff, could you see that what you were up against in training and stuff? You thought, I could get myself in this team. Did that your mindset think like that? In terms of, because sometimes you go abroad, no, I've never done it, but you go to a new team and you think, oh God, I might actually struggle.
Standard a joke.
It's the levels maybe a wee bit. I need to get to this level.
The standard is obviously a lot better. And when I nailed my first couple of training sessions, like, you quickly realise how good the players around you are. But I just believed that I knew that I was going to get in the team, and I just trained as hard as I could. I never get my head down, even when I wasn't playing, because like at times I wasn't even coming on, and we were getting beat, and like I just kept the heat.
So did you never once go to the manager and say, why am I not playing there?
Nah, I don't think I would ever do that. I don't know why, like, I just feel as though it puts a wee bit of extra pressure on you, and it gives something to the manager. If I went into him and says, how am I not playing? Like, and then he put me in the next week and he might not have a great game. He's then got that wee bit on you where he can come back and say,
don't chat mad over
and I think it adds a wee bit of pressure on you when he does give you that opportunity. But you need to play well, otherwise you'd be back out.
But what about in terms of fitness levels? Were you as fit as everyone else? Because when we obviously had the Italians in, you couldn't believe how fit they wanted us to be.
There was a lot of running. At the start of pre-season, I never thought that. Until it was Liam Henderson had texted me, had congratulated me when I moved there, and then his last text me was just enjoy the running. And then like the next couple of days, there was no balls or that. We were
old school.
It was old school. It was old school.
I thought it was going to be 5-a-side, fucking playing all the time, but mate, I couldn't believe so much around.
But Liam, we met Liam coming back, didn't we? And you've spoke to Liam a few times. He's a good lad.
Good boy,
it's good for him to speak to guys that have kind of been there.
Doig's there as well,
Is he playing? Is he playing?
Verona struggling a wee bit, but I've heard he's doing really well.
Was the manager that signed you? He's now left the club, isn't he?
Aye.
How different?
What is a manager?
I was just trying to bring that manager in.
We're speaking about what is the manager?
But what was brilliant, isn't he? But see when that guy signed you, he wasn't about, was he? For the first 2 months? So, mad that, innit?
So when I went in for pre-season, he wasn't there. It was a shame. He obviously had the illness that he couldn't make it all the time. So when we were away, when I met up with the team in pre-season, he was obviously still in hospital, which was a shame. And the only time you really got to see him was through like a Zoom. So maybe before a game.
What, in his hospital bed?
No, so at that point I think he had moved to he was in his house, but he was still getting kind of looked after. Whatever, he would speak to us on Zoom before like the pre-season games and stuff, and it was a shame, like it was sad. But it must be difficult for his staff and for the players and everything to not have your manager about and see him the way he was. It was a shame, but he wasn't about, so I never met him until the season started.
Did you think, well, a new manager's come in, the guy who brought me in is not even here? Did you start to think, I might not even play here now?
Aye, but I kind of, at the start I thought about that, but I quickly kind of thought this is a fresh start for me and a fresh start for everybody. Because I thought, like, when we were kind of struggling at the start of the season and I was just in the door, I kind of understood why he didn't play me. Like, I thought, if I was a manager, I would stick to, if I was needing a result, I would stick to the boys that I trusted.
Aye.
And I know. And at the time, obviously, we're getting results. So I kind of understood at the start, I was just in the door. But when the new manager came in, I just thought it's a fresh start for everybody. And Steve Clarke was brilliant to be fair, because when we just appointed the gaffer, it was an international break. And Steve Clarke phoned me and says, look, I'm not going to bring you in. He says, there's no point. He says, you've got a new manager. You've no played a lot. He says, go and train with him for a week. And he says, in no time you'll be in the team.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
And I spoke about it in an interview last week, like his judgment and like his experience to think like that. Because see, the time when he phoned me and says you're not in the squad, I was devastated, man. I was just lying in the couch. I understood why I hadn't played enough, so I didn't deserve to be in the squad. But after I was devastated. But now when I think back, his judgment was spot on, man.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
The Zoom calling for you done it with the Condolent boys, didn't you, for the hospital bed? The Hearts was singing at the gig.
Yeah, they were fucking understand a lot of the same.
You should have done a Zoom with the boys with that today. Brilliant. That's great for Steve Clarke, wasn't it?
Brilliant. That's a wee bit. You don't see.
Interviews planning out. You're far too sensible for my liking.
He's brilliant though. You've got such a sensible head on you.
He's quite calm in his approach and his speaking. But like you said there on the like a manager getting sacked, even though if a manager does bring in, surely as a player you've got to have that mindset of it's a fresh start for everybody. I can make sure
excuses, or you can start putting excuses in early doors. If you don't play,
I'm not playing because he doesn't like me.
Seen you doing it plenty of times.
I'm going to ask you about Aberdeen because he was a massive play for Aberdeen.
I seen it. Well, I was going to ask about the summer before.
Go for it, mate.
I'm too scared to bring it up in case I don't.
No,
so see the summer before when you don't get your move, how disappointing is that?
Devastated.
Was it, mate?
Aye. It was gutted. Like, see when that's put in front of you. It's been my dream since I was a wee boy to play in the Premier League. I wanted to play at the top level. And Watford just got promoted. And they came in, they were willing to pay. It was a decent fee. We kind of had sorted everything out in terms of going down there, contract, everything was put in place. And I believed that Aberdeen would accept the fee because I thought the fee was good. It wasn't what was reported. What was reported was a lot lower. But the fee was good. Everything that was put in place for me was really good. And in my mind, I was going, like, my time at Aberdeen was up. I thought I'd served them well. Aberdeen were brilliant for me. I gave them everything that I had. And see when that's just dangling in front of you to get down to the Premier League and it's no in your grasp. I like to be in control with everything, and see when that's no, like, I couldn't sleep in that. Like, I was...
When did you realise that this definitely isn't happening?
When the window closed.
So right up to that last day of the window, you
because I still believed that there might... anything can happen, fit back into it. And like, for that, how long did that go on for? Maybe a couple of months. Like, I handed in the transfer request and all that, and I've said before, I don't regret doing that because that's genuinely how I felt. I wanted to go because that opportunity was in front of me to go down and play in England.
But that's what people need to understand. The reason a transfer request went in because some people didn't keep their word.
See the fee.
I remember
the fee that was offered, and the fee. Did you go for a fee to Bologna?
Mm-hmm.
Big difference.
The Watford one was more, I think.
Aye, so when it tells you a judgment from a chairman a summer ago has backfired.
But he maybe feels that they got a year.
Maybe got another year. Yeah,
another year, and that kind
what I can't understand is that
even to sell it.
Sometimes you fall out with chairmans and sometimes you don't go your way. But he served that, like he said there, he served Aberdeen very well. He wasn't just a bit part player, he was one of the main players in the team, scoring goals. So what realistically has a chairman, what was he expecting to achieve in terms of a fee? Because I feel sometimes in Scottish football there's a certain price for certain people. There's a ceiling. And then by going away up here, you're just being greedy and stupid. You're basically just saying, realistically, you're not going to get that. So that's disappointing from his point of view. But ultimately, the professionalism you've shown from that to there,
because if that's me,
my head's professionalism is incredible.
My head's exploding.
Did you not tell? I was calm, but like I wasn't myself. Like I was in a daze, like for that couple of months. Like I said, I couldn't sleep and that. Like I was a wee bit out of the shop, but when I went back into training, like I can mind at the time it was going through my head. I was thinking, training wise, what should I do? And I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to go full pelt. And I went in, like, the first day I went in, like, won the bleep test and that, like, just went for it. Trained as hard as I could. And I think, like, the manager and all the players and the coaching staff really appreciated that. But that's just the way I was. I wasn't going to go in and chuck it, because that would do nobody any favours.
The biggest thing the question said there was,
but I think
my dream as a boy was to play in the English Premiership. That's the keynote there. He didn't say anything about personally, financially.
No, that comes in there, but that wasn't even a mind.
The dream was to play in as I would like to think most kids are. They have a dream to play for either a club, a league, or their country, whatever it is. But the fact you've said that, if anybody's listening, that's what the kids should be doing. Don't think about the money. This bonus part to playing football.
That will come.
Money comes.
That comes when you do well.
Achievements, and I think that's incredible to think that.
There was a bit of anger there as well, and that's the best play.
Probably probably there was a wee bit of something inside me that I was angry and I wanted to get in, and I kind of showed it. And the way I played, I thought I done well, and I still gave everything that season, like even though we didn't have a good season, and I still loved it, man. I loved that playing for Aberdeen.
What did you like about Aberdeen so much?
I just loved the place. Like I moved up there when I was a boy, and I bought a house up there. My missus moved up. I got a dug up there. Like I just my life was there. Do you know what I mean? And all the boys, I loved working under every manager, and I made some great pals up there. I was close with everybody.
Who's your main pals, players wise?
I was close with everybody, but the likes of like McCrory, Matty Kennedy. When I first went up, Dean Campbell, Bruce Hanson, Conor McLennan, we were always together because we were similar ages. We were always together. We were dead close, and we all sort of lived in the same area as well. So, no, I was genuinely close with everybody, and that like I loved it. Loved playing up there.
It was Dale that took you there, wasn't it?
What a guy, man. What a guy. I honestly couldn't speak highly enough of him, man.
So again, talk us through when you're leaving Hamlin. Was Aberdeen the only club in for you?
So I can hardly even remember it, but I can remember leaving training with Accies. And I was at a contract with Accies at the end of the season, but I was still young, like I wasn't even thinking about moving club or nothing. But I can remember getting home one day with my dad. Did they phone you, or did Bill phone you? Somebody phoned my dad when I was in the motor.
I remember you coming up with a contract that Accies wanted you to sign.
Aye.
And you were like, nah, they want me to sign a contract. And
I didn't even look.
I looked at it and I went, I've not got a Scooby. I'll give that to Bill.
Aye.
Good family friend is Bill McMurdo. He's looked after me. Took it to Bill, and Bill says, listen, are you okay? I'll deal with it. And he did deal with it. And as soon as he started to deal with the contract, Aberdeen showed interest, and obviously Dale had watched him. I think
he'd watched me in a development game.
That's
maybe about 6 months before. It was against Aberdeen, and I had played well in the game. I can't remember what the score was on that, but I can always remember him saying to me the reason that him and Doc, his assistant, liked me was because I think I'd played really well, but Aberdeen were winning at the time. And I was kind of losing my head. And he says I was just running about smashing into folk just to try and lift it a wee bit. And he says that as soon as I started doing that, he thought I want to work with him. But that staff, McInnes, Doc, Robbo, Paul Sheeran,
Good
brilliant
guys.
man,
All good
great
guys.
guys.
What is it they do at a football club that has that brings that kind of feel good factor about the place?
Just see their personalities, all of them. Like, see when you put them together, they were brilliant. Cause the gaffer was dead good. He was funny, but he's your manager, so there's a line.
Yeah.
The same way Doc would always have a laugh. He was always in the change room, joining in with the banter. Robbo thought he was the best player in the world, man. Like the way he spoke, he was funny. But like proper looked after us. Like I used to go out and work on some things with Robbo. And even when McInnes left, when Robson and Sheeran took over, like loved working under them. The way they wanted to go, the way they wanted to go and play, and their training, that was really good. But honestly, that group, that staff, were top notch.
I couldn't wait for him to go up there because I'd looked at the staff and all who they had.
All midfield players as well.
That was another thing.
Dale was a great player. He's down the reserves, mate. Done the night. He was fucking brilliant.
Can I tell you breaking news?
He used to come out with some good shouts.
What like?
There's one that just comes to my head as we were doing corner kicks or something, or set pieces, and it was dead windy, so one of the boys wasn't quite getting in, and I went out to hit some with him. I can mind McInnes come behind us and he was like, the wind wasn't so strong at Anfield. Just some wee shouts, and that was brilliant. Robbo used to come out with big time shouts fucking all the time.
Money or not?
And everything. Like if we were practicing penalties or whatever, he used to go on about he scored one in
Champions League,
yeah. And he scored one in Old Firm and that, so he used to come out with all that. But I loved working under them, honestly. I thought they were brilliant, and they were perfect for me. Perfect.
180 grand, not bad, wasn't it? Remember it went to tribunal?
Yeah.
And that was
So it was Hamilton to Aberdeen, 180 grand.
180 grand.
Bargain.
That's bargain.
What's the breaking news, wee man?
10 minutes to go in the Argentina game. Saudi Arabia 2, Argentina 1.
No way. You're kidding me on.
Saudi Arabia 2-1 up. 10 minutes to go. They won at Argentina, eh?
It's a bad shout out.
Wow, Argentina,
2-1 at Saudi Arabia.
I love him winning for Messi, but I don't see them.
Game up to this year, is it not?
Don't know, but they...
Messi.
I cannot believe that. They could do it.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is unbelievable news.
Right, you want to go back on his career? You want to talk
Sorry,
about
it's breaking news. On you go. I'm just trying to catch
No,
up.
on you go.
I don't know.
Since you've interrupted us, on you go, you take it away.
We were just talking about McInnes.
What a guy, even when we met him. Went me amazing. You can just tell, and everybody's went side, you can tell the players absolutely love him to play. And I'm actually want to ask you then a bit of coaching side. What's more important, man management or tactical, do you think?
He was best man management.
Was he?
Brilliant man manager.
Did he do a lot of like?
He done, no, he was a good coach.
Did that as well,
of course he was a good coach. He's done well. The past however many years he's worked in Scotland, but just as a guy, man.
The best.
Aye.
Sorry.
Even like know the coaching, I think he get the best out of me. No be coaching me.
To a personal level.
To a
You
personal level.
wanted to do well for them.
Aye, you get that feeling. You get that feeling off somebody, and you would run through a brick wall for them.
He had a great balance because I think he's got the old-fashioned values as well.
Aye,
I remember I said to you about how he spoke to only me for 5 minutes. I knew I was delighted where he was going to be going, but just to put Carol's mind at ease.
He spoke to
that's
my
a
man.
big thing. So
Yeah, of course it is.
and that's the type of guy he is. And that's
As soon as you speak to him on the phone, you're there.
You're there, so
I honestly ask anybody that's signed for him, whether it was at Aberdeen or whatever, see, as soon as you speak to him on the phone,
you're in.
as soon as you put the phone down, like as soon as I put the phone down anyway, I was there.
Has you got that other side as well, Lewis? Obviously you were a young kid and he said old fashioned values, so would there be times where he would tell you if you weren't at it?
Aye, but he loved me because I was always giving him everything I had. He loved that, but there was times like he put me in the office, maybe it was my second season, just after pre-season, whatever, and I was doing alright, I was doing well, but he asked me the question. He said to me, how do you think you're doing? And in my head I'm thinking, fuck, I've maybe no not been quite as at it as I had, but I thought, I said to him, I says, I think I'm doing alright. And he was like, I know you're doing alright, but you need to be the best. You need to go out there and be the best every day in training. He says, I want to come in here after every training session, sit down with my staff and say, how good was you today? And he says, every day you've got to have that mentality.
Standards.
That standard, wanting to be the best.
See another thing, I know we're speaking about Aberdeen and all that, but there's a person at Hamilton Accies I think you should speak about, because I think he was a big influence on you. You know, when we talk about standards
Simon Menson
and respect and all that. This guy,
George was brilliant, man. George Cairns,
right?
The head of the youth at Accies was brilliant with me.
Hard on you?
Hard on me, aye, very hard on me. But he was hard on boys, and then he seen who could deal with it, and he kind of took them under his ended up absolutely loves me. Loved working under him, but he was so good to me. Even when I got released for Rangers and I went to Accies, I still wasn't as physically developed as other boys. I wasn't as quick or as strong or as big, and he held me back a year.
Did he?
Aye, so see when you jump for I don't know what it's like now, but we used to go for 15s to 17s. And when we were about to sort of take that jump, he pulled, I think he must have spoke to you, but he pulled me aside and says, look, there's no point in you taking that jump now and no playing as much minutes and no development. He says, I'm going to keep you with under 15s. You're going to play every minute, every game, and you'll develop in no time. And I done it for 6 months. Was it 6 months?
6 and any.
And I just
showed you. Not good enough to play that level at that age.
He obviously seen something.
Wow.
Even though I wasn't physically developed, I wasn't at my best. He seen there was something there and stuck with me. And a lot of boys would think that's a bit of like a
disappointment.
A bit of disappointment you need to go down. But
did you feel a lot of pressure coming through with who your dad was and your uncle?
Nah.
Great question.
Do you think so?
Definitely.
I follow that.
That's a good question. No, but I think there is for other people.
Yeah, third parties.
Aye, for maybe fans or just
Media.
people in the outside media who look at it, because it's as if we're always got to get compared. Me, my dad, my Uncle Barry, we're always got to compare, but we're all different. Even though we're all midfielders, same family, we're all different. But
I'm pretty sure Barry didn't want to be Derek, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to be Barry or Derek. You make your own way in the game. You are who you are.
Bang on the money, Diggin.
The pressure comes from other
bang
people.
on the money.
I didn't.
But
I think it helped me having that.
But your game's, as you say, are completely different. Where did you get in that? Because your numbers are unreal for a midfielder. Where did you? Was that a coach got you to sort of?
See, at a young age, when he was playing boys club football, he was playing up front.
I used to play striker, but
and then he just
great finisher.
Then I kind of moved back. But I don't know if it's came for certain coaches, but I've played every sort of position in the middle of the park, so I'm quite comfortable with any of them, whether I'm playing as a sitter. You like me playing?
He always says
I enjoy it as well. I love play. It doesn't matter where I play, whether I'm an 8 or maybe just in behind the striker. I don't like to call myself a 10 because I'm not a typical number 10. That's technically I like to just be close to the striker and be effective.
Under Derek, and sometimes in a game, if there was a player, right, and there was a player that were maybe starting to kind of dominate the game or kind of be a big influence in the game, then he used to use you and put you on him, didn't he? He would just nullify him.
He would do that quite often.
And again, it was quite clever and all that, so he can do that. I know you slapped me for
No, I think he's a bit, I played against him, he's great at getting in the box and
That's physical.
I'm most effective doing that.
Yeah.
That's where my numbers
are. That Aberdeen team was just a Brendan Rodgers team away from winning a lot of trophies, weren't you? Because they were exceptional.
They were as well, but just not at that level.
But he's been so close to them a couple of times with the Roger
right at the end.
Was that a tough time? Because he's never really looked at it as a massively successful Aberdeen team, but
when you look at the likes of trophies, and it doesn't look successful.
But the amount of
what McInnes done there for 8 years, having Aberdeen at the top end of the table, always finishing second or third. Finished fourth maybe a couple of times towards the end. Semi-finals, finals, Europe. He was just bringing money into the club all the time, losing his best players, replacing them and doing it again. Like his job he done was unbelievable, and they just came so close.
2018.
So close.
I went along to the game with Ross and Darren and my missus, and we were in the family section at that time.
You were in the semi-final?
No, semi-final. And I remember they obviously scored. I didn't realise he'd scored. I was wanting Rangers to get
That's
the final.
right, I remember that. I remember you were on here the next day, I remember.
I know, and it was like that, and then I remember like, I think it was Darren was like, it's Lewis that scored that. It's like a nightmare, man.
Hey, my Papa Archie said that and all. I can mind because my cousin Kyle, I think he was sitting with my Papa Archie, and my Papa had went through. My Papa's hilarious, man, with a guy, and he shouted through. He's like, Lewis has just scored. My Papa told me that. Bastardy. Darren, Ross was alright, Ross.
Oh, because you're obviously big Rangers fans,
Aye, so all my pals are in the Rangers end. I made it a wee bit better. Like, because before it, there was a wee bit of back and forth, and all my pals are in the Rangers end, my brothers and that are there at the game, and that was amazing. Darren wouldn't speak to me when I get in, but what a feeling, man.
Have you ever been close to going there?
Rangers?
Not
even. It's always in the paper, it's always in the media, but there's never been anything.
Missed a trick in the summer there. Missed a massive trick in the summer there, that's for sure.
Nah, I mean, that's the best decision ever. Even the Watford thing, all the disappointment type, everything happens for a reason, mate.
That was disappointing. I'll be honest with you. That took I'm glad you kind of come out and said that you know, how upset you were. Because I never realised, I know at the time, I was the one that was more upset.
I remember.
No, you saying you're going to London?
Oh, of course, mate. I'd have been doing there.
The thing with Bologna, with Hickey doing what he did now, was going to Brentford. It just shows you that you've went there and you're in the team, you're doing well. The boy that does the fucking Bologna Twitter page raves about you every week, and he's good on that. But he's Scottish or whatever.
I genuinely don't know who runs that page. They can't be Italian.
No, with the
it must be somebody. It must be somebody here. But I genuinely don't know who runs it.
It just shows you that now, if he continues that level without driving away from Bologna, there will be bigger doors.
He's been like Juventus.
Juventus are sniffing about it.
No, but you just want to get work. I've better shot. You just want to work hard on it.
Aye, well, I'm always got to do that. It's a given. Aye.
By the way, see, the career doesn't look at his podcast game.
It's been magical.
I thought you'd maybe be a bit shy and cut words here and there, but
so relaxed. Shouldn't be on here with us, shouldn't he?
No,
should not be on here with us. Can I ask a few wee questions?
Of course you can.
Hardest player you've played in Serie A?
I'd probably go Lobotka. Or Zielinski. Lobotka. Say it again.
Lobotka. Lobotka was a guy good number 10 for Napoli.
No, number 77. The Georgian boy. I can't see his name either. Brilliant.
He's the one of the best.
Brilliant, man.
They've got him. And turned him down.
Aye. He's honestly, what I loved about him was, see, whenever he got on the ball, you could hear the crowd get excited.
He nutmegged
me within about 5 seconds. And I closed my legs. He still done it.
And he still nutmegged.
He never got on the other side, but so doesn't count. But they go, everybody in the crowd, you get that feeling when somebody gets on the ball. And he just went to the full back, man.
Brilliant.
Every time, like, never went, turned back, rolled it back to his full back. He just went and see 9 times out of 10, got past them. And he just caused us so much problems. It is like so many wingers nowadays, they've got all the talent in the world. They run up, they do a couple of step out, they turn back, they'll roll it back. I couldn't care if my winger was.
That's why you pass the ball to get the ball. You're wanting to go and get
to go and do that and take you a chance.
100%.
And that boy done that.
I watched the boy for Edinburgh City day Saturday, mate, and it actually lighted up my afternoon. Yeah. Every time he got the ball, he was direct as fuck. Brilliant, man.
His name?
I'm not gonna. Number 11, Robertson. He was at St Johnstone as a kid. Really good. Sorry, mate, next one.
I know you can say favourite stadium would be San Siro.
San Siro, the best.
Have you played at UV Stadium yet?
Aye,
Is that in your football career or
in my career? Aye. There's been a few like top ones, but the San Siro's.
That's another old school one, isn't it, Lewis? I've been in the dressing rooms that we think.
Aye, it's no what it's talk. It's no you think about it. They're not done. It's no modern enough for them to do other things now. See a stadium now, it's for everything. It's not just the football. They've got like
It's an iconic
the likes of the Tottenham's new stadium, what they've done to the Bernabeu and all that. They're gonna. I wish they would just modernise that stadium.
That's amazing, that place.
You don't realise how big it is until you walk up the stairs.
Oh, the wee stadium.
Because you get through quite a long tunnel. You get through quite a long tunnel and you walk up and it's just like you're looking up the way. It's amazing.
Have you seen these steps?
That'd be a good trip.
Have you played against
my mates all done that, my brother.
That's what we need to
Done that last week. They went to the San Siro
trip and film it.
and then to Bologna.
I'm not taking the taxi, no chance.
Oh, mate, taxi out of Bologna.
No chance. I drove to
Italian
fucking
fake
Spain
taxi.
one day and I'm not doing that again.
Best player powder's got to be an out of it.
Aye, probably not. He's got everything. You don't realise how quick and powerful he is, man. See some and he doesn't show it that often. But sometimes he feels
shift.
He can shift. See, sometimes if he loses his head a wee bit in training and he goes to press you realise how fucking quick he is.
Powerful.
Because he's and he goes after you and he doesn't stop. It's not as if he runs and shit. He goes after you, so you've got to be switched on. But he scores so many goals and he's got everything.
Has he done something in training you thought, wow?
Do you know what he does in training all the time? He'll not move. See when we do possession, get my stones in the middle. See when you give him the ball, whoever's there, just pitches it, stones on the ball. And it's as if this is mine. In this ball.
I love it. But he's doing that in games. He does it in games as well. Games all the time. He's like showboat.
Is he a big arse?
He's a big boy. He's physically in good shape.
Man, you're going to show him ass.
You need to get in there with him. You and the brother-in-law. Have you played against Mourinho's Roma yet?
No yet, but I'm looking forward to playing against Mourinho. Love Mourinho.
He's a legend, isn't he?
Amazing.
What's your most hostile atmosphere?
After that Aberdeen game, against strangers, they put us out the cup. They come in
Napoli was good.
Aye.
Before the Napoli game, I thought it was brilliant, man. See when you drive to the stadium, they all cut about motorbikes out there.
Vespas and all that.
Every single motorbike just hods in their horn when you're driving past them. And it's well loud, and it is intimidating, but it's no. I thought it was brilliant. So I was just looking out the window, and the streets are packed. They're all grabbing their balls at you. They're all doing mine Triple H. Triple H. They all do that. And he's coming up. There was guys with their wee boys. I thought it was brilliant. There was all guys doing all that, the Triple H thing, and then their wee boys beside them, I don't know, 7-8-year-old, they were doing it. And then everybody just stands like that and gives you the finger.
Napoli's the one, mate. I'd love to go to Naples.
You go home.
Obviously, you stay here then.
Naples, although everybody speaks about its dangers and that with the fans, it's a beautiful place, man.
Can I ask what best meal you've had over there?
Best meal?
But every meal is good, you don't get a bad one. Genuinely, you don't get a bad one.
What do you on your pizza? Always just margherita pizza?
I'm not really massive on pizza. I'm not really that big on pizza, but I love pasta.
What's the best pasta? What was in it?
Fusilli.
I like the tortellini pasta.
So it's filled inside
it's in like a sort of parmesan broth.
You don't get a bad meal. Honestly,
you don't genuinely. Gnocchi as well. You ever had gnocchi?
Love gnocchi, mate.
Top.
Maybe creamy sauce, pesto sauce.
Pesto's my favourite. That's my favourite.
My first partner, the oldest son that I've got, the kid to, his granny's Italian, was Italian. She's no longer here with his nonna. And she was from the north of Treviso. And Stephen used to go in at her house for dinners. Oh my! It's the way they cook it. but it was incredible.
It is. It's the way, the
Italians
way
here
they
are just
make
like
it.
fake Italians, aren't they?
Aye,
the
it
way-
is.
it's
It's
chippies.
like chippies and that.
course it's like chippies.
That's no.
He's raging.
What are you looking for a blue lagoon?
That's how you kept saying. Then chippies, I like that. Got chippies here. I'm getting that. That's Italian guys around it.
What about you?
One of my favourite meals of the week is my pre-match the night before a game.
What is it?
I have parmesan risotto and steak.
Risotto, man. And mistake through it.
No, through it. You don't have no meat on your plate with
So what,
pasta.
your risotto's never got anything through it?
No, oil, parmesan, wee bit of pepper. You don't put meat on the plate with pasta or your rice. You don't put meat on that. You go up and get that after. But that's what I'll have the night before a game.
Fuck it, one day. Maybe fuck
I
everyone at the same
Every
time.
day, they would generally put everyone, but they
Sauce,
don't. They'll put and they put oil on everything.
And what about, would you have a wee glass of red wine every now and again? Or?
No, I don't. No.
You're not a
really.
big drinker, Lewis, no?
No, massively. And sometimes when we're driving home in the bus, everybody sits and has a beer. Aye. You're actually allowed a couple of beers. I never used to do that in like Aberdeen or that when we were driving home because you have to drive when you get. But earlier you're allowed a couple of beers and you can drive.
Don't bother. Just leave it.
But
Does
we'll
Malta
maybe
have
have one because we drive back for like Milan and stuff.
So it's ages ahead.
So you've got a couple of hours and the boys sitting about
Does
here, but
Mott ever talk about his career?
no.
Bastard.
No. It's hard for me to have a
Conversation.
one-on-one conversation with him because of the language.
I think we could do a sci-fi that meets more.
Mate,
I think
Mott,
you-
I
I think-
once at Celtic Park for PSG and see what you're saying about your man taking the ball in the box and turning people. I remember
That's
Mott
what
doing
I
it.
remember. That's what I remember him like as well.
Ridiculous, Mott.
Aye.
Loved him more than Mizuno's, didn't he?
So he still wears them.
Does he wear the Mizuno's?
Still wears them.
Yeah,
He must have a deal because he wears the shoes as well.
Mate, I love Mott.
I think
Mott's
you
one of
would
my
love him.
favourite players, mate.
Aye.
He's
Fucking brilliant.
so passionate.
Is he about football, eh?
Like when we do our meetings before a game, in the changing room, it can go on for ages. And
I know what you're saying,
he paces up and down, man. And he's just you can see him getting
Worked up.
and then like before we go out, he always gets us in a group just before we go out for kick-off, and he'll speak to us and you get that feeling off him, that so passionate.
One question, you've obviously rocked up with the typical Glasgow boy, tratty on, not a problem.
I didn't bring a suitcase in with me.
What you like? What's the standard
Yeah,
like?
what you wearing?
Because
The gear's nice, to be fair, it's also a bit different.
Aye.
But when the weather's been good, I'll just go into my shorts, my t-shirt, my flip-flops, just dead chilled. And now that the temperature's dropped, but we've not got them yet. I think they will.
bet they'll be nice and fitted.
They will bring the suits in.
We've got these suits, everyone's buzzing. Fucking Ted Baker. I was like, keep your suit.
But it's actually just normal as well. Like boys have all got different styles, and
I think you're bad because you're kicking about with shorts at this time, because I was out walking about with a pair of jeans on a t-shirt.
And I'll be edging ass cut the jeans. That was the problem.
But they're not. The training look at you,
well, when
about with a t-shirt
when
this time of year.
when the temperature dropped, it was dropping to like it was still 18, 19, 20 degrees. So I'm still getting in with shorts and t-shirt on, and like when I went in the morning, some of the boys were like,
What are you doing?
"What you doing? Like it's freezing." I'm like, "It's peace."
What does Motto wear?
Don't know. I only
He
ever
always got his
only
training
ever
gear.
see him in his training gear.
I'd love to meet that. I'd love to meet that guy.
But he's a good guy.
Did you know it?
Great to, man.
Do you want to ask the boys their predictions?
Right, okay, World Cup. Let's start with who's going to be top scorer and who's going to win it.
I'm out of it.
Who's got to be top scorer?
I think England's going to do it.
So I don't fancy England. I like Brazil because I think individually the players that they've got in forward areas are like, now you spoke about earlier about guys lining up a game.
If V Fred lifts the World Cup, mate, I'm never watching
I
football
don't.
again.
will play.
If V Fred lifts the World Cup, mate,
They've got experience and all. They've got Thiago Silva, they've got Casemiro, Fabinho, and then up front they've got Marquinhos, two boys for Juventus as well. I just think individually all their players are.
Imagine that wee guy lifting that
The
top.
Vidal, Vinicius Junior, he's there. Neymar behind the striker. The other man is,
there.
could you play
Martinelli.
could you play him up front, Martinelli?
You play him off at
Half a left,
half
he plays
left,
No playing
aye.
Vinicius Junior plays there, didn't he?
Said his name.
But if you can Neymar, but if you can bring boys like
Fred up
get
front.
Rodrigo, Anthony,
Would you put Fred up front?
I'd
play
stick
Neymar
Fred
up
up front.
front,
Standing up. Man, this has been my favourite ever.
Mate, this has been brilliant. Loved it.
And then I think part 2 will be there in the players' lounge with you.
I think you should have a part 2.
And in the players' lounge, I want to see you in there. What do you bet to games?
You should
I'm going to start dressing a wee bit smarter.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
I know. I'm at that age, and just there. I've watched some of the guys on at my age, and they dress kind
What they wear? Chinos and
kind of like navy, kind of navy blue. I'm going to come.
They always wear. See what you're going.
Navy, I think you suit
See the suit and the t-shirt and the trainers.
The leather boots that you've got, knee highs.
You're coming back out. Boys, this is absolutely magic.
What a guy.